Here are some holiday time branded C9 transparent lights. These are blue, and it is almost holiday time. I've heard that brand before. I suspect it's a store brand. Let's see if we can find out what store. Walmart. Oh boy, it's the Wal-Mart store brand. Shop at walmart.com. Don't tell me where to shop. I had two of these strings, and kind of an uncommon variant of C9s. Usually you see the white or multicolor. It's pretty rare to see all one color. This year I want to put icicle lights up and down the hallway and perhaps around the kitchen, and if I just keep going nuts, maybe around all the bedrooms as well, you know, along the at the top of the wall on the outside of the room. And I thought that these would look really cool at the top of the icicles, like I do outside with the multicolor C9s. It really adds a flare of color and character to the icicle lights to have a string of C9s up at the top. The colors on the outside, and I thought the blue for ice would look cool on the inside. So that's probably what I'll use these for, assuming that they work and are not a complete piece of garbage. According to the box, these are 25-foot length, or 24-foot, 25 count. I don't know why they're 24-foot. They should be 1 foot spacing between each bulb. You can connect up to 60 lights, which is a stupid claim because their strings are 25, so you would connect up to 50. And then if one bulb burns out, the rest stay lit, which has been the case for decades. That's nothing new. They connect end to end. Allegedly, they're UL listed. These were $5. If these are new unused, which it kind of looks like, that's a decent deal. Let's scrutinize the back of the box, and then we'll open up the string and take a look. Very important, it says. Very important. Please read carefully all cautions to reduce risk of fire and electrical shock. All cautions and directions are listed on the directions divided by safety sheet located inside this package. Please read and save these instructions before using this set. Okay. Prop 65. Warning. Well, we're not in California, so we don't have to worry about that. Yeah, these look like they've never been used. Although, unfortunately, we can't use them because the instruction sheet is gone, and they can't be used without reading and saving that instruction sheet. Oh well, we're just going to have to violate the demands on the box. These look like a really deep blue color. Just off anyways. And it looks like this is probably where that's supposed to go, and then, oh, wait a minute, here's the instruction sheet. Oh, what a relief. Here's the model number. It is model number KYO, or potentially KY0, I don't know, probably O, KYO-925E-1. The printing on this is very poor quality. All the W's are kind of a weird, like all mushed together. What a stupid font. Windows, look at that. I doubt there's anything interesting on here. It does have a diagram about replacing the fuse. These are type 7 watts. And it's a 5 amp fuse. So if we get out the math machine, these are always severely underrated according to the fuses anyways. I suppose you can make arguments about voltage drop and whatever, but you're talking a 25-foot piece of wire. I don't think that the voltage drop is going to be that significant. So it's a 5 amp fuse, and we know that each string, well, actually we're going to find that out now. We could calculate it, but why not just get an exact measurement? The amps. Well, there's a bunch of bulbs that are burned out on this, but it draws approximately, we'll say about 1.2 the amps. So 5 divided by 1.2, 5 divided by 1.2 is 4. I thought the magic number was 3 for these. I guess we'll do it by watt. We'll have to calculate it instead. So it's 7 times 25 is 175 watts per string. Now, we know it's power factor 1 because it's basic incandescent lighting. So in this case, 120 the volts times 5 the amps gives us the 600 watts. And then that divided, no percent, 120 times the 5 is 600, and that's divided by 175. And so, yeah, so 3 is the correct number of strings that you can connect. I've connected 3 together many seasons without any trouble. What do we say it was 600 watts? So if we do 600 times 0.8, we get 480, and then so that's 80% load, and then if we divide that by 175, it's 2.7. So we're kind of teetering just a touch over what in theory should be allowed, but I really think that connecting 3 strings in total together is perfectly safe with these and pretty much all C9 lights. Okay, so with that out of the way, that's for the next video. Let's plug this back in. A lot of them are not working. I wonder if this was like a store return or something. It's very hard to see the filament in there. Nope, the filament is broken. So the filament's broken on that one. And the filament's broken on this one. And the filament's broken on this one. And the filament's broken on this one. And this is kind of disappointing. And the filament's broken on this one. On the back, the filament's broken on this one. Alright, let's see if we can at least combine the two to get one good working set, and then maybe I'll just only be able to do the hallway up and down, or no, not even. Well, let's see how many are busted on this one. The likelihood of finding I mean, I can order a box of blue C9s, that's not difficult. The likelihood of it matching this properly is pretty slim. And this has a lot of ones that are out as well. Jeez, this is really disappointing. Yep, that's broken. That's broken. That's broken. That's broken. Oh, gosh. That's broken. That's broken. And that's broken too. There's not much to work with here. We've lost almost the complete side of this. This is a bummer. Well, I suppose maybe if we can get one string, well, if I'm going to use them in the same space and they're still not going to match. Wow, so we're down to like 1.5 good sets. This is really disappointing. In terms of value, it's probably still decent buy because a new one of these is like in the range of 15 to 20 bucks probably, because you'd have to be a special order to get all one color. But really wanted to have two for my use case here. Okay, well, as far as I'm concerned, we've just got a handful of spare bulbs out of this one, and that's it. I'm not going to bother to put this back in this thing here. I'll just slip them in the box plain because they're mostly all gone anyways. That really stinks. I'll have to price out a set of replacement bulbs. Well, let's look at what we got. We got at least one set that we can look at. Get off of there. Shards of glass everywhere. This is such a messy video. Well, that's interesting. Looks like the filament must have blown out on that one and must have gone kind of eventfully. Very interesting. Alright, well, here's the one working string of the two. This is in the way also. It's a nice looking set. These would look great on top of the icicles if it was in focus. Ow. That was not a bulb, that was my person. Is the lens dirty? Why is it not? There we go. I guess the lens must have been a little dirty. Very nice looking lights. I tend to prefer the opaque lights when it comes to C9s, but these clear ones definitely have some applications. I like clear ones, the clear multicolor ones, when it comes to anything with a texture, like for instance the live tree in the living room. I use the clear ones on there because the texture gets drawn out by the lighting effect of the clear glass as opposed to the softer lighting of the opaque bulbs that don't draw out the textures. I also use a string of multicolor C9s in the front yard, even though I primarily use opaque there. I use a string of multicolored clear on some trees, you know, the two that I wrap the trunks in, because it brings out the texture of the bark. And of course the filaments look really cool as well on these. And that's one thing that True Tone has gotten right. that other brands have not is the shape of the filament in the LED replica ones. So I quite like these. They look very nice, exactly as I would expect for a classic incandescent C9 string. It's just very disappointing that so many of the bulbs are burned out. And it's kind of weird because I'm pretty sure that these have never been out of the box, as you can usually tell when somebody has handled them, and these didn't look like they were handled. But oh well. I'll have to get the price on ordering some replacement blue lights, and then I think I will probably use these in the hallway with the icicles. I think it's going to look really nice.